Hi, Crazy Lady Angler here. Welcome to my living room today. I wanted to do a video to tell you guys all about my kayak, but it's well over 100 degrees outside and I don't want to be outside unless I'm fishing. So, you get to see my living room too. I'm going to start off, I'm just going to go down and start from front to back and tell you about the kayak. This is I have a 2016 Hobie Mirage Sport. This is the smallest and least expensive of the Hobie pedal drive kayaks. I got it because I am small and cheap. So, this is a about 9.5 foot kayak. I got it in the dune color, which is, I guess, pretty popular. If I was going to do it again, I'd probably go something a little brighter just so people could see me on the water. It does have some cool stuff, though. The front of the kayak has this little stowage hatch, hold on by bungee cords. In the front of my kayak, I keep, well, it depends on the day. Typically, I've got my anchor set up in here. So it fits pretty well in there. This is actually hull access, so you can get all the way, I mean, you could put stuff all the way down in there. You could store rods if you really wanted, or your paddle, stuff like that. The one disadvantage to the Sport, compared to the other Hobie kayaks, is with it being smaller, the storage is a little bit smaller. Hobie makes a lot of really cool accessories, including hatchbacks. They don't make one that fits the Hobie Sport, so I just picked up a little cooler bag that I squeezed down in there, and that'll hold it and keep it from rolling back or anything like that. The cool thing about that is I can also put ice water, or I suppose bait if I wanted to, in there. Keep it cool. Pretty simple little system there. This is the Mirage drive. I don't have the new, mine's a 2016, so I don't have the new drive, which actually has a reverse feature on it. It's a really simple drive to use. You just pedal back and forth like this. The fins underneath actually move like a penguin's feet. It pops in and out. Real simple, two little clips right there. You can pull it out, and that's how it looks when you move it. It's a real simple, low impact movement. So even people, you know, with knee problems or hip problems, it really is simple to use. The other thing is these are adjustable, so you can move them back and forth based on, you know, your leg length, stuff like that. I'm short, so mine are usually pretty far forward. On my kayak, we've added rod holder mounts. I've got two different kinds on here. I've got a Scotty rod holder mount and also a Stealth rod holder mount. Both are great mounts. I like the Stealth rod holders myself, but the Scotty rod holder, you can actually there's a lot more stuff you can use. They have all kinds of things you can use in a Scotty mount. So. The cool thing about the Hobie kayaks, I believe all of them have this, but they might be a little different per kayak, but they have these cool little net pockets. I keep a stringer in this one, and I put all my trash in there, or trash I might pick up during the day. The other side I've got some other stuff, which I'll show you in a minute. Both sides have really good handles on them. They're sturdy, they're not the rope kind or anything like that, which I really like. They also, on either side, have a paddle holder. So it just clips around your paddle and snaps into place. I don't have my paddle on here right now, but I can show you that also. The next thing is going to be the Hobie kayaks come with a rudder system, and this one is real simple to use. It just moves back and forth, turns at the end of your boat. Pretty simple. That's also retractable. So for when you're launching or stowing or whatever. The next thing I want to show you is the seat. This is why I don't own an older kayak. These seats are phenomenal. They're comfortable, you don't get wet, they're elevated, and they're very adjustable. I keep mine most of the time in the high position. This is the highest position they can be in. That way I can, being short, I also have limited space, and it's just easier this way. And I can fit tackle boxes underneath my seat if I want, or I'll put my rod holders under there if I'm not using them right away. I've even put my anchor under there before when I wanted it, you know, easy access to it. On this side of my kayak, I always have my fish grips. These are, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a kayak angler, these are a necessity. I don't care what kind of fishing you're doing. These will save you as far as catches. These are the juniors. They're perfect pretty much for bass, stripes, pretty much anything we have on Lake Havasu. I do have a bigger pair for larger catfish or, you know, stuff like that. I keep the majority of my accessories bungeed. I got these cool little leashes, and then just clip everything on, and that way it's always on my kayak. These things never come off, and I just clip it right on the seat. This can fold up for when you're stowing, so it's got the adjustments on the back here for lumbar support as well. So you can, I mean, there's a ton of adjustments you can do here. You can lift it up, and it's got kickstand there, so if you want to lean back more, if you have longer legs. And all the new Hobie kayaks come with good seats like this. So if you are going to spend money on a Hobie, I recommend getting a newer one, honestly, if you have the money. So you can be as low as that. If it's super windy and stuff like that, that's probably a nicer position to be in. These kayaks come with built-in rod holders on just behind the seats. I typically don't even use them as rod holders, I'll be honest, because I have these and the others on my crate. So this one, I keep my net in. I just keep it leashed just like the other stuff. There's some cool little spots to clip your leashes on them here. And so I just clip everything. If you leash it, you won't lose it. And then I just tuck it into the holder. This is probably, well, maybe next to my fish grips, this is my favorite accessory on my kayak. This is the black pack, and there's a lot of different crate options out there. I saw this year at ICAST, they came out with some really cool new ones. This one, though, I am in love with for a lot of reasons. One, with having this sport, I have the smaller rear tank well compared to the other Hobie kayaks and most other kayaks, honestly. But this one fits, so that's nice. We've got rod holders attached to the back. I don't have rods in here right now because my ceiling is too low, so I can't show you. But it's really nice because it's hard. You know, you can buy the soft ones, but I like this one because it's hard, and there's a lot of spots here where you can actually attach more rod holders. My kayak came with the fungies here to hold it down, so that's perfect. And then inside I can keep everything I need, and I'm a girl, so I mean everything. I've got my soft plastics, always keep a buff, that sort of thing. Coolers, bug spray, tackle boxes, of course. I should probably have less tackle, but what fun would that be? First aid kit, extra line. I keep extra tournament identifiers, a snack bag for the ladies if you don't recognize these. Typically I have a shiwi and a little bit of toilet paper in here too, but obviously I'm not very prepared for my next trip. Anyway, this is a really cool still, you can do a ton with it. If you have a bigger kayak, you can actually turn it the other way. Some people really like that. I have it set up this way so my rods are back here. They're not right behind me. I don't have to worry about getting caught in them or, you know, anything like that. On days that I have a lot of rods, if I don't know what kind of fishing I'm doing, I will use the other rod holders and bring an extra rod, stick it in here, and just tuck. You can just tuck the net in, the rubber bands there, and even if it falls out, which it does, it's leashed, so it just floats on the water while you paddle. All right, now for this side, we move the kayak a little bit so that we can get a better view here. I'm going to start at the front here. This kayak comes with a rope handle like this on each end. This is probably one of the few things, one of the cons about the kayak. Some of the other Hobie kayaks have much better handles. These, if you're having to pull it a long ways or you've got a lot of stuff on it like I do, it's heavy and it's kind of, how do I word it? It pulls, you know, it hurts your hand. And it's just kind of wonky, I don't know. If it was me, I'd rather have something a little more sturdy. Maybe a plastic handle or a molded in handle would be even better. The other thing, we went ahead and installed a anchor trolley, which is a pretty cool thing. It makes a huge difference for me. With this being a smaller boat, one of the other cons is that you can get pushed around quite a bit by the wake. It's not horrible, but if you do want to anchor up, a lot of times, you know, if you have a traditional anchor and you've got it either at the back or the front, and the wind changes or the water moves differently, your boat's swaying side to side, maybe even flip all the way around. The nice thing about the anchor trolley is you can adjust that. You just clip your anchor on there and you can move it back and forth. So, it's pretty cool. On either side, there's a paddle keeper. So your paddle just pops in right here. This clips up and comes around here. Simple as that. I keep in this side pocket, I always keep a pair of pliers. Everybody needs a pair of pliers. And my TourneyTag, which I keep my tournament identifiers in. This one's been in there, I believe, since the beginning of June. So you can see these TourneyTags work pretty well. If you're going to do tournament fishing, you probably want to get one of those. And I keep that leashed as well, just in case. I have lost one before. First time. Rookie mistake. In the center here, I've got another little stowage hatch. It's not a really big one, but it comes with the little container here, put baits, or it's fairly water safe in this container, so you could keep, you know, other stuff in there, maybe your keys or stuff like that. But it pops right out. There's different ones. You can get deeper ones or, you know, different stuff like that. But you have hull access here as well. So you can actually stow stuff in here. I've kept, you know, NRS. I've got some of the, like the neoprene type boots for when it's cold, and I'll pop those in there. Or if I take out the container, I will put in some, I sometimes will put in my cut bait stuff or anchovies or something like that if I don't want it sitting out in the sun. We also have the handles on the sides here. Not sure if I mentioned that before, but those are just pretty simple, one on each side. The next thing is going to be, I'm going to pull the seat down here so you can see this. Just behind the seat here, you've got a couple of scupper holes in this back space here. This is where I put my cart most of the time. You can use it for a lot of other things, but I'll show you a little more about the cart later. I'm going to take some of this stuff off and give you a better view of the cart itself, but that's how it sits in the cart. The next thing is going to be my hog trough. If you tournament fish at all, or even just for fun, these are really cool to have. Most tournament series require them, actually. You can get them all, you know, various different places under different names. They're pretty much all made by the same company, but you can actually get them pre-lined so they don't look like this. Mine needs to be relined and washed and all that stuff. That also tethered there. This is an item I think you pretty much have to have on your kayak. I don't care if you're fishing, paddling, recreationally, whatever. This is actually a light, and it pops right into my rod holder there. You can also get them Scotty mount, all these kind of cool different ways. Some of them fold up, different stuff. This one's the Visi Pole by Yak. It comes with the flag, so you're visible day and night because of the light. The light's really simple to turn on. You just twist it, turns on. Just a simple twist to turn it off. It runs on 3 AA batteries, and it's good for 2 nautical miles, so it's Coast Guard approved. The final thing I'm going to show you is just how the rudder works, kind of. Up here in the front, I've got it locked into place right now, so I'll release that. It even tells you, it says down. On the other side here is where you pull it up, and it would say up, except for that I was naughty and broke it. So all you have to do is you pull that. I'm going to do it slow so you can kind of see what it's doing. You just have to pull, and it'll pop right back up. When you put it down, it's kind of the same thing. You pull the side that says down, and it pops back down. And you can move your rudder back and forth like this. Do make sure if you have one, when you pull it down, you lock your cord into place so it stays down. I think that's about it on that. So there's one other really awesome feature that the newer Hobie kayaks come with, and I can't really show you that with all my stuff on here, so I'm going to pause this video for a minute, unload my kayak, and then I'll get back with you and show you this. Alright, we've got my kayak on its side now, and I'm going to show you, real quick, I just wanted to tell you about the cart here. I told you a little bit about the scupper cart before, so now you can see kind of how it works in the bottom here. We've added some tennis balls, just for a little extra cushion. Probably not necessary, but makes me feel better. The one thing I will tell you about these carts is, if you look closely here, Hobies have reinforced scuppers. As far as I know, no other kayak companies do. There might be, so don't quote me, but as far as I know, Hobies are the only ones doing it. I do not use a scupper cart in a kayak that doesn't have reinforced scuppers. If you want a little information about what happens if you do that, I'll put a link in the description to SeaWolf Kayak Adventures video on what happens when you use a scupper cart in the wrong kayak. Now, this plate here is pretty cool plate. What it is it's a transducer port. The newer Hobies come set up Lowrance ready, so you can easily install your fish finder. I'm going to have to flip this over to show you the rest, so give me just 1 second. Alright, so back here is the access point for that plate. So you'd run your transducer cable up from that plate up here, and then down into here, which is a watertight hull access. Hobie has that set up so that you can run your cables and wires and all that stuff inside your hole, so you don't have that big spaghetti mess outside of, out in the open. The other thing they did, they made it so that you have the option to bring those cables out from here to mount your, to set up your fish finder here or here. You can, of course, if you want it to come out somewhere else, you can drill into your Hobie and buy mounts and all that kind of stuff. People customize their Hobies a lot of ways. You can even buy a little ram mount that pops in right here. This port is actually for a sail. All the Hobies have these, so you can install a sail. The other thing, if you look down in this front hatch, now that that bag's not in here, you can see they actually have a kit you can buy where you can mount a battery. It's like a battery box that goes right here, just a mount. I think it's like under 20 bucks. I think that's just about everything I had to talk about today. Pros and cons on the Hobie Sport Kayak. Pros, it's a Hobie. The customer service is excellent. It's great quality. And there's a ton of accessories. They make a ton of accessories and stuff to go with it. This one is great for me because it doesn't weigh a lot, you know, that sort of thing. As far as cons, I would say probably Hobies aren't cheap. They're not the cheapest kayak on the market. This is the cheapest of the pedal kayaks as far as Hobie, or the cheapest of the Hobie pedal kayaks. But it is an investment. That being said, I think it's worth it the majority of the time. The other con to this one, because it is a smaller boat, I don't have as much stability as some of the bigger kayaks. I mean, it's still pretty stable kayak, but because it's small, I can get tossed around a little bit with a lot of wake or wind or whatever. You just don't have as much. It doesn't track as well, kind of thing. Other than that, I love this kayak. It's a good size for me. If I was going to do ocean fishing or something, I would probably look at something else a little bit bigger. But it's a great little kayak for fishing, and a lot of people don't think that you can use these to do that. They go for the ones that are marketed as fishing kayaks, because typically this one isn't. And you can do it. You can make it happen. So anyway, thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll get with you later.